announced an opportunity to participate in the humorous contest. And I was like, no way I'm doing it. I'm not going to be like a Pavel Voля on the stage doing a stand-up show trying to amuse the audience. I was like, I simply don't understand this type of humor and I don't appreciate it. And then it took some time for me to rethink what humorous speech contest is all about. And then it ended up being an amusing personal storytelling. This will be the story not about me or my experience. And it's not even my friend's story. It goes kind of a bit more complicated. So there is me. So to make it more visual, I like graphs, so we keep going with it. I have my friend, Katya. I live with her, she's my roommate. And Katya, she has a friend. So it is the story of a friend's friend's story. So, as I mentioned, I live with Katya. And how our typical evening goes. You come back home very, very tired, right, from exhausting work. And most people do, they watch TV, series, comedy shows, movies. I don't need any of that. I have Katya. Every evening she has a story to share. Like I have no idea where she gets all of those stories from, but every evening, new story, our perfect kitchen, Katya stories, me. And one of those evenings, Katya just runs into the kitchen. Yuliya, you can't imagine the story that I heard from my friend. And I was like, yeah, keep going. I'm taking the popcorn. I mean, already the good evening is about to start. Yeah, so let's go. And I will tell you the story of this friend. And I will be talking on behalf of her, simply because I feel I'm very connected to this story, and because I would probably behave the exact same way as this girl did in her story. So, me being the friend in the story. Imagine a typical Soviet-style multiple stores building, right? There is a staircase with a bunch of flats, right? The doors to go outside. So me, typical morning, just opening the door, going outside. Hey, and I see the marker just laying down on the floor. As I was about to pick it up, just like really just going there slowly somehow, my neighbor opens the door. And she's saying, hey, Yuliya, what are you doing? By the way, her name is also Yuliya somehow. Magic connection, I don't know. Hey, what you're doing? I'm like, hey, the marker, is it yours? I mean, I saw it here. She said, no, it's not mine. Is it yours? I was like, no. And it's like, what are you going to do with it? I will just take it and put it somewhere outside. Like, don't even dare touching it. I was like, oh. Why? Don't touch it. It could be the bomb. Thinking about myself. The bomb, the marker? She said, no, that's a bomb. Don't you remember? In the news, they showed there is a recent explosion in our neighborhood. I was like, oh, okay. And because we were screaming, and not me screaming, her screaming, there was another lady who just ran into the house. She's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, there's a marker, maybe it's yours? And the other lady's like, no, don't touch it, see? It could be the bomb, please, get away from here. There's the lady, yeah, it actually could be the bomb. I also heard the news about the explosion. And me, who were super critical about the situation, started doubting the marker. It could be the bomb. What if the technology is getting very high? I mean, could possibly smart terrorists, I mean, yeah. And this whole situation started getting bigger, and bigger. More people were gathering at our staircase. People were screaming and yelling. So it was not only that lady screaming and yelling, not touching it. She managed to get the supporters. So there are a bunch of people screaming, no, don't touch it, it's a bomb. There is another supporter screaming, come on, that couldn't be a bomb. And there is me, who doesn't know what to do in this case. Yeah, that could be the bomb. It's kind of logical terrorist, smart terrorist, high tech. And there's a kind of smart me is like, come on, that's a marker. Someone from that crowd, apparently, decided to call a kinologist. And kinologist? Yeah, I mean, kinologist came. He just went through the crowd. He looks. And there is a marker. he just picks up the marker. That's it. Coming back to the kitchen, me and Katya were that story. I was listening to that story. I was telling her, hey, I was somehow expecting a more epic ending of this story, more dramatic or something going on there. I was like, maybe it's fake, she's just coming up with that story. Katya told me, no, she was like really, really serious about that. I was like, okay. And then throughout our conversation, I actually asked her, I don't know why, I just asked her, did it happen in Moscow, like in Moscow neighborhood? She said no. My friend, she used to live in Georgia, somewhere in Georgia, Abkhazia, kind of like a couple of 5 years ago, and so she recently moved to Moscow. And for me, it was like a biggest, maybe aha moment in my life, that if you didn't know, there was a huge war conflict happening between Georgia and Abkhazia, and there were a lot of war activities happening, and a lot of, well, kind of terroristic attacks happening, a lot of explosions happening around the neighborhood. And for me, it was, hey, how peace can be relatively fast restored on the territory, and the world community can forget about it. But how long it takes to restore peace in someone's mind? Maybe for some people, this peace will never be restored. Thank you.